Hey all, I have something a little bit different and special today. Something I got in the mail um, that I'd like to share, and it's not my usual. Got some key issues or a bunch of comics for something, for some run or fills or anything like that. Um, but don't worry, it is appropriate for the channel. Um, so first, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about trading cards. For those of you in the 90s that were going to hobby shops or comic shops, you couldn't get away from trading cards. And eventually the market fell out under these. But for a time, even Marvel and DC got on the trend of making trading cards. So they made their Marvel's the Marvel Universe trading cards. The first series came out in 1990. There's a series 2, 3, 4, and then all kinds of different companies jumped on board and making the masterpieces and stuff like that. Um, but the Marvel trading cards are very important to me. First of all, they are what got me into comics. I have a friend, my oldest friend. I've known him since preschool. Was into comics, and I wasn't. We were buddies with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was sort of our thing, but he was also into comics, and he introduced me to these trading cards, and I thought they were super fun, super cool. So I started collecting them alongside him, and that was just sort of my intro into comics. And from there, I started actually getting comics and reading comics. Um, so, in addition to that, it's also just a part of my childhood, particularly with this friend. I remember like riding bikes down to the sports card shop or the comic shop or whatever, going through the getting packs and opening them up and going through them and trading and whatnot, and going to comic shops to look for singles and things like that to complete the set. So as far as comics are concerned, these and that particular friendship is concerned, these were very important to me. Now I remember specifically this Aunt May card because it stood out from everything else because there was all the superheroes and teams and um, there were the MVCs, the most valuable comic cards and stuff. But then there was Aunt May, who was just a regular person, not a superhero at all, but she had her own card. At the time, we thought that was stupid. Like, who cares about Aunt May, right? We're 10 years old or whatever. And superheroes to us were about the action and the stuff, and the beating things up and looking cool and whatever. Like, who wants Aunt May? Looking back, I think it's fantastic that Aunt May got her own card. Uh, I think it's very telling about the Marvel Universe in that its stories really revolve around people, not necessarily heroes and arcs. Especially in the early times. It's today to some extent, but really in Silver Age and I think through Bronze Age, is really focused on character-driven stories. So the fact that they gave Aunt May her own card shows how important she is and how important the people are to that universe. Something that was way above my head at the time, but in retrospect, it's very cool that they made that card. So the trading cards are important to me. This card in particular, as far as the Marvel trading cards go, has a lot of meaning for me. Um, which is why when I saw it, I had to have it. Um, and so I picked up the original art for that trading card. Um, it's colored by Paul Mounts. I'm not sure if he did the line work, so they're separate, right? So there's the line work sort of on a lithograph, and on the card below in watercolors is the coloring. Um, but this has both and lays them on top of each other. Uh, so I saw this on an auction, not on eBay, but just another place that was doing auctions. Um, and I saw it, and this is too meaningful in so many ways for me not to pick this up. So I did. I'm not real huge on original artwork. I have artwork from like local people that I really like to support, and one or two maybe private commissions. Not private, I wouldn't really commissions, but sketches that I got from conventions from years ago. I have one comic page from a Star Trek book I went to a local convention, and the artist was working on it as I went up and started talking to her, and it was a really cool page. I'll probably show it sometime. But I got that page just because it was a really cool page, and it was awesome to I actually witnessed her drawing it, and I thought that was really cool. But this was super powerful and meaningful. When I saw this, my jaw dropped. Like, there's no way. It's an original piece of art from the thing that got me started in comics in the first place. So it was just too amazing and important to have. I do have a frame being custom made for this. It's actually this and the card that I'll put sort of side by side. And I'll show that, or at least I'll throw an image on social media when I get it. But this just came in today, and I thought it was too cool not to share. It is now one of the most important and prized things in my collection. So I thought I'd throw it out there and let you all take a look. I do cringe at. There's a price written on the back, which was obviously the price of like when it was first sold, when the artist was just getting rid of it at some convention or whatever. I would have loved to get it at that price back in, this is probably in, not long after it was made in 1990. That would have been great. But it was a little pricier this time around. But anyway, that's it. Let me know about important artwork pieces to you in your own collection, or things that you'd like to get in the comments, and like and subscribe and all that. And we'll see you again soon. Bye. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.